Like everyone in Kansas City, looking to have a celebration. That celebration was marred by a shooting today.
All of a sudden there's a shooting. They're like, get in. We're locking the doors. We're locking the doors now. We're locking the doors. And it's locked the doors on us inside Union Station.
People around us were diving to the ground. It was scary. Scary.
Hold on to who was close to me, hold on to who was closest to me, and just run as far as I could.
There's people actively shooting, so we're scared. We're over here trying to find somewhere to go.
Came flying in, all these young kids came flying in, and they didn't have any adult supervision.
I was kind of wandering around the same area, and I just saw two other people with blood on laying on the ground. It's scary.
I just have one thing to say. This is not Kansas City.
One person is dead and 22 others were hurt in a shooting today. Several of them are kids. We want to thank you for joining us tonight after what has been a day of incredible highs and then suddenly mind-numbing tragedy and heartbreak. Good evening, I'm Brad Stevens.
And I'm Carolyn Long. A tragedy on a day that should have been full of joy. Shots rang out at Union Station just minutes after the players and the coaches had left the stage. Several area hospitals now caring for those victims tonight. Children's Mercy says they are treating 11 young victims. All of them, we're happy to report, are expected to make a full recovery. To be clear, not all of those victims were shot. Some were hurt in the chaos that ensued. Police have 3 people now in custody. And as the investigation continues, police have set up a tip line specifically to hear from anyone who witnessed what happened. That number here on your screen, 816-413-3477. And we have team coverage for you tonight to bring you stories of heroism, strength, and tragedy.
Before we begin our live coverage, let's walk you through what happened. Now, the day started nice enough. Beautiful weather, smiles, celebration. Kansas City pride on full display. A celebration of a team that proved all the doubters wrong. And then it turned tragic in just a matter of seconds. The moment the shooting happened was caught on video.
Now, before we show this video to you, I want to warn you here, it is upsetting. It's disturbing. We are showing it, though, because we feel it is important to help tell the story. If you don't want to see it, please look away now for the next 20 seconds. After those shots rang out, you could easily hear them there. The celebration quickly turned to chaos. People ran for their lives. Some of them dropped everything they had and just ran. Others grabbed their kids, their loved ones, and got out of there. Mayor Quentin Lucas says he is heartbroken about what happened.
Today was tragic for everyone who was part of it. I had the chance to talk to my wife just a moment ago, who said we became part of a statistic of too many Americans, those who have experienced or been part of or connected to a mass shooting. That is something that I hope we all recognize is highly problematic for all of us.
And tonight, we know the name of the one person who has been confirmed dead in that shooting.
Her name is Lisa Perez Galvin. She's known as Lisa Lopez, and she worked as a DJ at a local radio station.
KCTV5's Mark Palos joins us live now outside 90.1 KKFI Community Radio as he tries to learn more about her tonight. Mark, what can you tell us about her?
Carolyn, Lisa Lopez Galvan hosted a radio show here at KKFI Radio every Tuesday night from 8 until 10 p.m. I'm going to take a step out of frame so you can see the station and its call letters here in Midtown. But the show is called Taste of Tejano and aired 8 to 10 p.m. on Tuesdays and showcased the Tejano music from the North Mexico region. Now, tonight, the station released a statement and it says in its entirety, quote, "It is with sincere sadness and an extremely heavy and broken heart that we let our community know that KKFI DJ Lisa Lopez, host of Taste of Tejano, lost her life today in the shooting at the KC Chiefs rally. Our hearts and prayers go out to the family." Now, Lopez Galvan was a graduate of Bishop Miege High School, and I can tell you as a fellow alum and graduate myself, the Miege community is mourning tonight and experiencing a deep sadness with the loss of one of our members. For now, reporting live outside KKFI in Midtown Kansas City, Mark Paulos, KCTV5 News.
So tragic. Mark, thank you. Children's Mercy Hospital says it's treating 9 children in total, ranging in ages from 6 to 15. Thankfully, all of them are expected to recover. Here's what Chief Nursing Officer Stephanie Meyer said at tonight's presser.
Fear. The one word I would just use to describe what we saw and how they felt when they came to us was fear. This is nothing that you ever want to have happen, and you especially don't want it to happen in a situation where it is a mass casualty type of situation. You don't know how many you're going to get, what the response is going to be from trying to reunite people who might have gotten separated. And so while our staff all went into action, they have a lot of questions and need some help too.
The hospital says some victims had been separated from their families, but say all have since been reunited. Now, the accounts from witnesses who saw the shooting are chilling.
KCTV5's Ryan Hennessy spoke to one person who saw it from a loft overlooking Union Station, another couple who thinks that they were about 20 feet away from that shooter. Ryan, what did these witnesses tell you tonight?
Yeah, so they all said the same thing. They're glad that they're all right, but they feel pain for the victims. They said that this is not what Kansas City is about, and that they're heartbroken that such a fun day turned out to be a tragedy.
Immediately, I look out this window here and see a gentleman on the ground, people rushing to him, receiving medical attention or giving medical attention to him. The masses at this point are then rushing west on Pershing Road towards the IRS building, towards Penway Point. And I would say probably no more than 3 minutes after that, a second round of gunfire then happens, what I presume from the IRS building. Masses start running back this way. People are diving under the semi-trucks that are parked here, running in all sorts of directions, grabbing loved ones. But it was just, I mean, honestly, just hysteria.
Holly Green and Jim Keeley were outside Reed's window when this took place.
I came back a little bit with my camera, and I just started hearing gunshots. And I immediately told him, get down, shots fired.
They estimate they were around 20 feet from that shooter.
And then everybody just started running. I attempted to run, and my legs just turned jello. And I mean, it's like my leg just melted out from underneath me, and I fell.
A little ways away, and 3 women said they were near the shots at Crown Center.
Everybody out in that courtyard in front of the bar they were flying everywhere. And then people around us were diving to the ground. So we all we started running down a hallway, and there were a bunch of kids. And my sister and I were running, telling them, get down. It was
scary.
Scary. I mean, just
It's scary.
This doesn't happen in Kansas City.
But it did happen here. A celebration that's memorable for too many horrific reasons.
And what was sad is, we seen these kids that came in, and they came flying in. All these young kids came flying in, and they didn't have any adult supervision, and so they all came in and were really scared.
I just don't think it's going to happen in the heartland of America. So it's just disheartening for sure.
Now, the other thing I heard from every single witness that I talked to was whenever they heard gunshots ring out or people running away from the scene, they saw police officers running towards those gunshots. Reported from Union Station, Ryan Hennessy, KCTV5.
Yeah, you're right about that, Ryan. Thank you. Tonight, police say they have 3 people in custody. Officers say Chiefs fans helped chase down a suspect. One of those people was Paul Contreras. This is the moment he tackled a guy with a gun, and here's what he's saying about it.
I just heard somebody yelling to stop this guy, tackle him, and he was coming in the opposite direction. So you don't think about it. It's just a reaction. He got close to me. I got the right angle on him, and I hit him from behind. And when I hit him from behind, I either jarred the gun out of his hand or out of his sleeve, because as I'm taking him down to the ground, I see the gun on the ground. So I take him down, and I'm putting all my body weight on him. And then another Good Samaritan comes over and is helping me because I kind of got him high, and the other guy gets him around his waist, and we're just putting our weight on him, and he's just fighting to get up, but we're fighting to keep him down.
This shooting has even caught the attention of the White House. In a statement, President Joe Biden calls on Congress to enact more gun control, saying in part, quoting here, "Today's events should move us, shock us, shame us into acting. It is time to act. That's where I stand, and I ask the country to stand with me. The epidemic of gun violence is ripping apart families and communities every day. Some make the news, much of it doesn't, but all of it is unacceptable."
And Kansas City police have set up a tip line. That number is on the bottom of your screen right now. Its number is 816-413-3477. They're asking for information specifically about today's shooting. Here's what Police Chief Graves says they're looking for.
This centralized phone number will be for those who are victims, witnesses, and if anyone has video or any information about what led up to what happened here today.
Again, that number on the bottom of your screen is 816-413-3477.
We know how cell phones are. They're specifically looking for anyone with video evidence to turn in. There were families all across the region at this parade when those shots rang out.
KCTV5's Betsy Webster caught up with a mom who brought her 12-year-old, and she joins us now live outside Union Station with their story. Betsy.
Right, Carolyn, there were so many kids here, right? School was canceled by most of the districts so that kids could come down for this. And as we were walking from where we parked over to here after the police opened this area, we started noticing all the things that people left behind as they took off running. An indication of how much of a family crowd this was. One thing we saw left behind, this baby stroller with a coat over it. And, you can look at all those videos of people running, but we found this shoe left behind. You could just imagine, little girl trying to get away, shoe falls off, who cares about the shoe? Among all the youngsters here was Jalen Jones. He's 12 years old. He came with his mom and two of her friends. They made a big day of it. They got a hotel room downtown, big fancy room. They were so excited, and he wanted to tell us about what he experienced. His mom gave us the okay. It was a good day, gorgeous weather, a lot to celebrate.
We were able to be in it, and it was just all positivity.
They got a front row spot for the parade, arriving at 7 a.m., making new friends among fellow fans. They got up close for the rally, standing so close to the stage that they could barely see above it.
We were having fun and stuff, just watching them over there on the stage, and then all of a sudden we see people just running.
They never heard gunshots, but what they saw alerted them to take cover.
People were, dropped down, ducking, crying, holding on to their kids. Some people lost their kids.
I wasn't crying or anything. I was just kind of scared, but then my mom calmed me down.
His mom and her friends found themselves calming adults as well.
There was kids and people laying flat on the ground. This one girl, she was so terrified. She was grabbing the leaves. You could just see the fear that she had, and she was shaking so bad, and she couldn't. And her mother just was in shock. She couldn't even move.
Jalen and his mom and her friends are safe now, but they remain troubled, though 12-year-old Jalen used a different word.
It's just kind of irritating because these were innocent people just trying to have a good time.
It was a beautiful day, and the highlight of it was a tragic moment.
For the ones who lost their life and the ones that are injured, we just pray for them, their families, and we're just very thankful and blessed that it wasn't us.
Jalen's mom, she has military training. She says that's how she was able to stay so calm in the moment. And it's only now, after it's all over, that it's starting to hit her. Jalen, on the other hand, he told us he feels fine. He feels much better now that he's away from it and knows that he's safe. Live at Union Station, Betsy Webster, KCTV5 News.
Yeah, I think it'll hit many of us here in the coming days. Still, Betsy, thank you. Union Station, by the way, closed tomorrow out of respect for these victims and their families. People who get their mail there can still do so by going to the west side doors. Amtrak customers can still access the building as well. Will need to show their tickets, though, to get in. Union Station does plan to reopen on Friday.
When the gunfire erupted, not everyone ran away. We bring you a story of courage and heroism from a local nurse when KCTV5 News at 10